just go back with one. Then they'll come back to you with the next question, you go back with another. We had to sort of, I suppose, manage our language when it came to dealing with those manufacturers. If you said, look, I want a bow here, let's say for example for a bra, I want a bow here, they won't necessarily put it on both straps. It's such a literal sort of group to deal with, and you really need to be aware of that. So we have a great designer that we sort of, in terms of graphic design, that I've worked with for years and years, a good mate of mine, and he sort of, you know, saw Honey Birdette from inception to where it is today, and he's very aware of how literal things need to be. But it was a learning process. We've made lots of mistakes along the way. The last shipment of, we don't need to get toy bags anymore because the toys are packaged so beautifully. They're like little tag watches, but sort of, you know, the last shipment I think of bags that we got 12 months ago were about that much too short. So, you know, we had to send the entire sort of, you know, package back. We received some toys recently that we had to send the entire, because they just weren't up to scratch. We have very high standards of quality, so that can be a problem. The thing that you need to remember if you are dealing with the Chinese, pay a bit more. So my thinking would be, and my thinking always working for marketing departments here was crunch them down, crunch the printers down, they can do it a bit better. You know, not $500 off that. With the Chinese, put an extra $500 on, because you'll get much better quality. They'll run round. If you say to them, my budget's $2,000, they'll run round, they'll get you that product for $2,000, but it's not going to be the best product. So you put an extra $500 on, and you'll get the better product. So you say, look, I want Louis Vuitton quality. They say, oh man, you know, that's going to be very expensive. And they come back and it is expensive, but it's nowhere near as expensive as what you're going to pay here. So you just bite the bullet and you pay a bit more. Your numbers aren't, I mean, unless you're, you know, you're I don't know, Universal or Portman's or whatever, Peter Alexander, we're not ordering in lots of hundreds of thousands. You're ordering in small quantities, so you're going to have to be prepared to pay a bit more. And I suppose that's what I was saying about risk it. Sometimes you do need to take, we've lost thousands of dollars dealing with the Chinese suppliers, but at the same time, you know, we've made thousands of dollars as well. Hi.
Your target market, you mentioned the older demographic. How did you choose that, and what's a good market? So how did you find it? It's not obviously.
So the question was, how do we find the older demographic or the older target market? I suppose I'd say we probably didn't find it, they found us. We'd done a lot of research, probably not a lot of research, we'd done a bit of research, and of course we'd all watched Sex and the City, and you know, it was all about that 25 plus market, and you'd heard that ladies reach their sexual peak at the age of 35, rubbish. Ladies hit their sexual peak at the age of 50, so watch out boys, you've got a lot to look forward to. At that stage, I think when those studies were done, ladies were having children when they were 17, 18, 19, 20. Now we're having children when we're 30. So I explain it to our staff. I'll say when those ladies come in and they're 50 plus, they have a completely different look on their face. And it's like, I'm off on a cruise to Canada, I'm ready for a good time, get me the wee vibe. The ladies that come in and they're between their 30s to 40s will be tired, stressed, work, kids. The last thing I feel like is sex. What have you got? So, and that's why we sell so much erotica. We sell so many books, and we sell more of it in actual fact than any other shop combined in Australia. And that's when we had one store. We became erotica central. And this stuff is dirty, it's naughty, it's sassy, it's incredibly fabulous, but it's not DVDs. Ladies are not visual. Men, unbelievably visual. So when they come in, they can see a set of lingerie and they can go, I know exactly how that looks on the body, that's spectacular, and they are the best at choosing lingerie. In fact, much, much better than women. Women, yeah, we're all in our heads, which is why I never sell women non-fiction, because we already think too much anyway. So erotica's fabulous. The 30s to 40s definitely need some assistance. They're all working full-time, they're all full-time mothers, they've just got lots going on, and that's why, so, you know, we just say, look, grab yourself a little lily, glass of champagne, some erotica. It's going to be the best Friday night you'll have in. Spend a little bit of, you know, a little bit of me time's always good. 25 to 30 different, they'll go for things like the Naughty Nano. It plugs into the iPod and vibrates to the sound of the music. So it's very generational, but generally we don't get anyone in below the age of 25. Unless the little monkeys at Champs are trying to get in, they're 17, there's a pack of them, they're trying to, you know, have a look, there's toys around the corner. Then we just say, oh look, it's 18 plus only in here, which is a real benefit to us. Otherwise, that would really throw our sales. You can imagine you're in there sort of trying to buy your demi-cup bra and your nipple tassels, and you've got, you know, a group of 17-year-old kids in there picking their noses and putting vibrators in their ears. It's not going to be a very nice experience. So, hi.
You mentioned before about
Yeah, so I'd say in Europe, I mean, look, I don't know what it is about Europe. I think ladies are just used to wearing, even when they're jogging around the track, they're wearing, you know, fabulous lingerie. America's very much a Victoria's Secret market, and I think it's actually very similar to Australia. Up until about 4 years ago, the Australian girls are very used to wearing just basic contour bras, so your bend-in bras, and probably to a certain extent still today. You'll probably find that probably 60% of the ladies here tonight are wearing mismatching briefs and bras. And that's, look, I don't know what that is, whether it's the cold weather in Europe, whether there's a proliferation of stores over there, there's just a greater awareness, there's people like Chantel Thomas, you know, fantastic provocative lingerie. But certainly America is starting to change slightly. But Victoria's Secret, has anyone been to Victoria's Secret before? Okay, so it does have some great stuff, but it's still really a basic store. There's nothing too provocative about Victoria's Secret. We're starting to see a few pop up like Kiki DM and Coco Zamir. I think the Brits they're generally a pretty saucy bunch. Most of the politicians are running around in fishnets, and it's just, yeah, it's quite a crazy, it is a sort of a crazy area. You get into Europe, you get into Paris, you've got a lingerie shop on every corner. It's almost expected. You certainly don't get that in America. So we're actually looking at an American store at the moment. It's something that we're not really taking care of. It was a customer of ours that decided to sort of email us, and she was a very good customer and wanted to start up a store in LA, and that's sort of one of the things that we're working on at the moment. It's really just to test the waters. We think there's a huge opportunity. There's obviously a lot of people over there, so huge opportunity in the American market. But at the moment, we're really focusing on these, on our eastern seaboard. Hi.
Any plans for the Gold Coast?
Yes, actually. We're actually so we've got 2 stores coming in October. The first one's in Pitt Street, and the second one's in Robina Town Centre in the new Maya section there. So, and that's going to be a fabulous store, so it'll look fantastic. One thing we did learn was to spend a lot more money on the fit-outs. You'll find that, you know, sort of most retailers will try and only spend about $2,000 a square metre, generally because they're taking much larger stores. We only sort of take 30, our Sydney store is 60 square metres, but we generally take that 30 to 35 square metre, and we probably spend about $4 grand a square metre on our stores, so we tend to spend a lot, but it's worth it, because it's one of those places where people come to and they keep coming back and they drag friends back, so if you can afford it, you do it.
Is it hard to compete when there's a competitor not too far away from the store?
The question was, is it hard to compete when there's a competitor not too far away from the store? Probably a fairly poignant question. When we opened in Chermside about 3 months ago, Bras and Things probably opened about a week after us. We probably wouldn't really classify Bras and Things as a competitor, but we thought it might impact on our business, particularly at Chermside, which is a lower socio-economic sort of, demographic, and we are the highest performing stores per square metre in that centre at the moment. So, look, it's not. I think the thing that we learned was to offer an experience, and we stuck true to that. So, I read recently that Portman's suffered a loss this year, and I'm not surprised. Like, I used to shop in Portman's when I was 25, and I was, you know, in my little young corporate career days, and I was just like, oh, you know, I need a skirt and a shirt. And I went into a Portman's the other day and I was shocked. You got slat wall shelving, and it's just, you know, appalling fit outs. And I think you've really, and what's the difference between that and walking into Big W? There's no difference. What's the difference between walking into Bras and Things and Honey Birdette? Huge difference. The girls are fabulous, they look fabulous, they attend to you. They're not saying, how's your shoes, you know, fabulous shoes, you know, wonderful handbag, how's your day? Come through here, I'll take you to a little toy store. You know, I'll tell you a few quick things. So it's really about offering that service. You can, to be honest, you can go to Naughty But Nice and buy a Vibe, and you can probably buy it for the same price that you can buy it at Honey Birdette, but you certainly walk out feeling different. So you have the packaging, you have the bag, you have the smile, you just feel different. So experience-based, you know, retail I think it's the way of the future. You cannot compete with department stores. They're pretty much sailing the entire 12 months of the year now. How do you compete with that? You offer something different. So you need to have that point of difference. And I think for small retailers, it's offering a great experience. I know this is nothing new, but, you know, it's something that we've learned firsthand.
Guys, one more question.
Hi.
How do you recruit staff to do that?
Biggest thing. The biggest thing. Hands up if you own a business here. Hands up if staff is your biggest problem. No? Okay. For retail, it is. you need to get the very best staff and you need to offer them the very best price. So, obviously we have girls coming to Honey Birdette because they want to be associated with the brand. As I said, incentives are huge, but we need to, one of the girls that we've had working for us studied lingerie design. She's now designing lingerie, but she also manages the store full time. One of the other girls that works for us, loves PR. She's now doing some PR, but she also works for us. You need to offer them a career path. So I think it's about being with your staff. Obviously that's going to get more difficult as you get bigger, but we'll just try and manage it as we go.
Please put your hands together. Thank you very much, Eloise. That was fantastic, and I think we've all got quite a lot from that. A retail perspective is something that we have been lacking, and we've certainly been lacking some female entrepreneurs, so it's been great to have you tonight. We do have a bottle of wine here for you from Clovelly Estate, one of our sponsors, and I'd also like to thank Greystone Bar for hosting us here tonight. We've also got some national sponsors that cover us for our events in Sydney and Melbourne as well, and they are RMIT University and Deloitte Digital. So just before we wrap up tonight, guys, I just want to remind you that we are recording all of this for a podcast, and we also videotape as many as we can as well. If you jump onto the hive.org.au, it's all available for free. So if you want to listen back to anything that Eloise said tonight, or check out some of the speakers we've had in the past, you can jump on there and listen to hours and hours of entrepreneurial advice. So for all of you that were new, a quick reminder, we're on the last Tuesday evening of every month. Hope to see you in September. Thank you.